food. Fuck this, I'm hungry. I need to reclaim these motors because I don't. I'm not sure what motors I'm gonna use. So I'm probably just gonna use these. These are good motors. I hope I don't burn myself. I hate that shit. One more set of motor wires need to be snatched from the jaws of defeat. Without getting burned, hopefully. I'm gonna get burned. Nope. I'm gonna. So that's the motors we're gonna use. I'm gonna turn this soldering iron off and turn it back on later. It heats up pretty quickly, but it really doesn't maintain its temperature very long. So that's the drawback with the clone bacon version of the thing. Because it looks kind of like one, but this is not the one that everybody has. This is just a rip off of that one. And apparently it doesn't work for shit compared to that one. I was kind of liking this frame, but yeah, it's not working. So moving the motor to a different frame and using a different ESC and a different flight controller. I think I'm gonna go with the Helios Spring flight controller this time. Had shit luck with these builds lately. Nothing's died, but just the tunes. I've been able to get them tuned, vibrations, and different things have stopped me from being able to really enjoy my creations here. So hopefully that'll put an end to this. And then there was a couple, like a week or two there, where I was just crashing everything, and I lost one quad up a tree, brand new quad up a tree, and I was so pissed I didn't even really want to look for it. But I think somebody else found it for me. Thanks, Steve. If I found a quad, I definitely wouldn't keep it. I mean, come on now. You know it's not yours. Anyway, I got another one. Another HGLRC Batman to replace the one that I lost in the tree a couple weeks ago. So I hope it burns your house down, Beef. Really. We got enough assholes, dicks, and thieves, and rapists, and robbers, and backstabbers to go around out there. So if you're one of them, I just don't give a fuck about you. We got one motor here. Should I do away with these things here? I think so, yeah. Um, these braided things here. They're great, but they get in the way and they confused me last time, and I had a really weird time getting the motor spinning in the right direction because I couldn't see which wire was which, so it was gonna skip that this time. Definitely don't want to lose these motor screws. And this is my injury from the props. Shit looks bad, man. That was like a week ago now, I guess. We're using a Foxeer camera this time. We've got a run cam. I got a run cam brand new around here somewhere. I might use that if I can fucking find it. There it is. See, I like to have all my parts available over here where I'm building at. At some point it'll be time for dinner. I'll probably order some food because I'm hungry. Or, we'll see. Waiting on Amazon to give me my money. Again, as usual, as I'm always waiting, because when you sell something on Amazon, you don't just get the money from your customer, right? There's a whole rigmarole you have to go through, and it usually takes about 2 weeks, which is almost as bad as a paycheck at a 9 to 5 job, which is something that I really don't ever look forward to. Never have, never will. I mean, it's amazing that we got a society where that's basically everyone's goal, is to find a 9 to 5 job, knowing that they're ripping you off and manipulating this and that, and you're not getting paid enough, and blah, 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 but yet we still put up with this shit. Some of us do, anyways. Personally, I'd rather die than die that way. I'd rather die the quick way than the slow way, if it comes down to it. But luckily, entrepreneurial opportunities abound. So as long as you don't have kids, like I don't have kids, you don't have to take a 9 to 5 job. You don't have to do that. But if you have kids, you do have to do that. So it is what it is. I'm not putting down kids. I'm just saying, if I had kids, I wouldn't have the option to do this. So probably gonna do away with this. I'm pretty sure this hardware still works, but I'm thinking that this is a cheap ass frame. I don't know why I bought it. And this 3mm arms, and it looks like 1.5mm top and bottom plate, maybe 2. But whatever it is, it transmits enough vibration to throw off the gyro in the flight controller. And this is a proven stack here. I've had this stack in 3 different frames with 3 different sets of motors. So I know the stack is okay, unless I've damaged it over time. That could be the case. I did run it full speed, full throttle into a metal I-beam that destroyed the prior frame that it was in. So I'm not complaining, that's for sure. I've had this thing for almost a year. It's an inexpensive Real-Ac Real 5, and I mean, I've had this. I bought the plug and play almost a year ago, and I bought 2 of them, and lucky I did, because it's such a good beater quad and practice flyer, and it has survived countless other more expensive quads that I had and don't have anymore, crashed, destroyed parts, especially Furry Bee. it makes no sense to ever buy Furry Bee quad because this Real 5 is $139 when it's not on sale. So really, the, there's there's no 5-inch quad that's ever going to be cheaper than that. I mean, except for maybe $30 cheaper, it might be $110. But then you get what you pay for. $139. You look at the parts, it's like, well, they're not the best, and it's Real branded motors. But at the end of the day, it flies great. It takes a crash in the stock frame, and it's got range longer than the Hawk 5 or the Batman. I mean, with the stock VTX. So it's a very confusing market, and just the hype distorts things, and I'm just like, oh well. I'm a grown man, you know what I mean? I'm willing to use trial and error and not listen to anybody's opinion and just find out for myself, and that has worked so far. Right now, I'm in a position where I don't have any quads that have the range. The Realac had the range. I would be sitting in here, in this room right here, and flying it outside and far away from the house. And I never had any range problems. I never had any range problems with my VTX. I never have any range problems with the Fly Sky. With the fuck Fly Sky. I never have any range problems with my FR Sky stuff. You know, I mean, look at how I do the antennas. They're way up high off the carbon, and you're never gonna have a failsafe with when you do this. It kind of gets in the way, but I failsafes are not an issue that I concern myself with, and I'm not on 900 megahertz or any stupid crossfire, any of that bullshit, or R9 or anything. Just standard XM plus, and I'm not trying to get 15 kilometers away. I don't give a shit about doing that. Personally, do what you want. You know, I sold my Spark and Phantoms and shit like that. I don't want that kind of stuff. It's not fun. It's boring. You know, it's tedious to fly 15 miles away. I just want to fly around where I'm at and do a little acro, and that's good enough. Uh, Man, but today, I mean, today in this neighborhood and down in the park, I was flying all of these quads high, like, you know, I can get them 1,500 feet easy, you know, but it doesn't take 10 minutes to get there like it does with the Spark. Um, you know, it's not going to be a failsafe. But the goddamn video now, the VTX that they put in the Hawk 5 is just, I ought to go to Emacs where they, and just step on somebody's foot and be like, ah, you did this to me. You earned this. This is your karmic payback. And the Batman with that stupid looking SMA pagoda doesn't work for shit. I've already swapped out the VTX on the Hawk 5. I got a lot of VTXs, but the best VTX I have is this Atlatl clone right here that was in the Real 5. This is the one that I was flying all around here. It could keep up with my FR Sky stuff, you know. This VTX could keep up with the FR Sky stuff, so I could use that wonderful range and sit right here on this very chair and fly around. I got video of it all on YouTube, man. It was so much fun doing that, but now I'd be stupid to do that. I took the Hawk 5 up and almost lost it trying to dive a damn building. It won't even, I don't even have VTX range to dive a building, man. That ain't fun. So the Hawk 5 is for sale right now. All the Hawk 5 shit I have is for sale. The Baby Hawk shit, I wouldn't even bother trying to fix that and put a new VTX in there. Because it does have the failsafe issue because also got a shitty receiver. So fuck Emacs. I'm not saying that as a company, but I'm saying that as these products, I don't want them. They're for sale, and they don't do what I need them to do. You know, and I'm not a beta tester. I'm not gonna go out there and fix the shit. I put a new VTX in there. It did improve it. It made it so now I can at least fly it around the neighborhood and acro right in front of where I'm standing, and the VTX keeps up. But You know, I couldn't go behind any vegetation. I certainly couldn't sit in this room and fly outside like I do with this VTX here, which I don't have anymore. I broke one, and now I broke this one. But it's in that little clone. I could get in that. I could get. I got a RC Charlotte. That's another clone of this same type uh, over there, but it's installed in another quad already. But I swap parts all the time. I'm a builder type person, and I'm just frustrated because I don't have the range right now, and the range came from a cheap ass plug and play, you know, cheap. The cheapest one, $130. For a real 5, everybody says it's just a clone. It's no good, but the parts work. They took a beating. I used it for a long time. I mean, I crashed it worse than I've ever crashed any other quad in my whole life. Going under this thing that I go under all the time. It's that little shelter for the soccer teams at the park. But for some reason, the little shelter's got I-beams, metal I-beams in the roof. And so when I didn't continue under the roof, I hit the throttle, and the camera on the rear act was never good. It was never stable, so I could never keep the angle that I needed to fly fast. So I was always estimating because I couldn't see in front of me. I mean, all I could see was the fucking ground. So that's the one complaint about it, but I could have easily replaced the camera. But at $130, I'm like, I'm just gonna ride this one out. That's what I did. So, but even after the multiple crashes, putting it in multiple different frames, it still had better range than any of these binding flies that cost 250 or 300 goddamn dollars. So for me, it's all good because at first I was like, why would I want to build when I could just buy binding flies? Well, now you see that the binding flies usually put some cheap VTX in there or some shit. They tested it like from 100 yards away, and that's it. So that's build or not, I definitely have been replacing a lot of VTXs. But the Baby Hawk is not worth fixing because, like I said, it doesn't. With the receiver, the FR Sky receiver that's in it, it doesn't. You look at the RSSI, it doesn't have good range. Fail-safes happen on the Baby Hawk. That's why I never ever fly it. It just sits over there, and I got a brand new one in the box. There's no. I'm not enticed. I don't. Why would I fly it? I've got a Sparrow and a XJB. Why would I fly the Baby Hawk? Shit, when I had a Furby VX140, I didn't fly the Baby Hawk. I've had the Baby Hawk the whole time, and I only had fun with it the first one that I got, the first day that I flew it, when I was just learning how to fly acro. And of course, then anything is a treat when you finally the the light bulb finally comes on and you finally understand thrust vectoring and all that stuff finally kicks in and it becomes natural to you. It, I, Anything that you're flying at that point, you're gonna love it. So, got the motors out. I can toss this, but I do need to reclaim the receiver because I'm gonna have to reuse this XM receiver here. So I hate to take this thing apart because really I'm gonna take some of those trash motors and put them on here and just keep this quad as a backup. So maybe I'll just leave that receiver in there. And I've got another receiver right here, but it's just an XM receiver, but that's fine. It's a little tiny micro receiver to go in the frame that I'm using here, which is a Mode 2 Ghost Clone frame. So as you can see, there's really not much to it. The arms are 4 millimeters. The plates are 2 millimeters. It's got 3D printed camera mount and antenna mount in the back. There's nothing to this really. There's no sandwich plate. It's very basic. And so yeah, this is what I'll be using today. I might try to rework this solder and make this VTX function again, because it's the best VTX I have access to, unfortunately. But more than likely, I'm just going to use this new VTX 03 I got right here, and just use the stock antenna. I put a VTX 03 or 02 in the... Yeah, this is an 03. Maybe I need to switch this and put this in the Hawk 5. But this isn't even 03. It's got the 3 leads for the camera, to plug in the camera. Then it's got hot and cold. So it doesn't have smart audio or anything like that. This is just... And I thought the VTX 03 as advertised did have smart audio. I don't know. I don't care if it does or not, but just trying to figure out what I have here and what that is over there. But either way, you know, I couldn't sit in this room and have those quads outside and see the video at all. That's how bad it is. Go around one corner of solid glass or wood or anything and it's gone. Vegetation, it's good enough to fly around out here in this neighborhood, and there's some trees, but that's not impressive. You know, impressive is a VTX that operates at 600 milliwatts and can get you from, you know, through walls and glass and vegetation and distance. That's what's needed. So I've had that before. I'm gonna have it again. I'm not gonna settle for this that I have here. If I have to sell all of those quads and build my own, I don't give a fuck what I have to do. That's not to me. That's why I didn't participate in this hobby in 2015, because I'm like, man, if the quality of the FPV experience is this low, I'm not interested at all. And I know I can have better. This is not cutting edge technology either. It's all very well understood, even by myself, you know. So, god damn it, we got the Mode 2 frame here. We got the ESC that we're going to use. And I think this time I'll go with the Helio Spring flight controller with Betaflight and the VTX 03 on top. I might add this Speedy B bullshit, or maybe not. I don't know. Probably not. XM Plus. We'll use the Fox Ear camera, I guess. So I guess this is a Runcam Swift 3. No, this is the Swift 2. 2.1 millimeter IR blocked. Could run on 6S. I think I'll just use the Fox Ear camera and keep the Runcam for another build. They kill me with this shit, man. I wonder if they don't know or if they're just shills because they want money. I think it's because they want money because, damn it, if I'm not fooled and convinced, then they're not probably fooled and they know better. They're just doing it for money. And for that, they don't deserve anything but disrespect and disdain. That was one hell of a video from UVA Futures today. Stu did a good job with that.
Being in its brightness. Hubble can now
That
make a
$99
measure
build
of
is
the
going to be
change
my
in
next
history.
build for sure.
The distance to one of the
And I
nebulae.
might make it even cheaper than
It
$99
works
to
out that
build a 3
Andromeda
inch.
is about 800,000 light years away. That's more than 8 times the distance to the furthest known stars in the Milky Way. This means Andromeda has to be outside the
This is
Milky
a
Way,
big ass
a whole new galaxy beyond our own.
This is irrefutable evidence. He's very excited. He writes it with an exclamation mark because he realizes the significance of the discovery.
Hubble's discovery explodes the frontiers of our universe. Our Milky Way galaxy is no longer all there is in the cosmos. Hubble goes on to discover that Andromeda is not alone. He reveals that dozens of nebulae are actually other galaxies.
Whichever one this
Edwin
fits
Hubble's
is the one
research
we're
and
in.
telescopes profoundly changed our view
I
of the
think
universe.
it'll be the other one. Or is it?
The most powerful
This is the
telescopes of
Beta
today
Flight
are
F4.
still exploring the wider cosmos
And
that Hubble first discovered.
This is the Helios
Looking
spring.
across
So.
billions of light years, they have uncovered 100 billion new galaxies beyond our own. Each made up of 100 billion stars.
Why doesn't the Helios spring
Multiply
have
those
an
together,
arrow?
and you have more stars than all the grains of sand on all the beaches and all the deserts on Earth.
Is that the arrow?
Just like
Yeah,
that,
man.
the universe became 100 billion times larger.
I guess we're gonna
Hubble's
use it as-
discovery that there were other galaxies outside our own blows the universe wide open. But what he discovers next will be even more extraordinary. Several years
It's like any
earlier,
other documentation. You go with the simplest thing you could possibly go with and assume that they don't have the manual.
Galaxies were moving away from us. Now, Hubble wants to work out why. And he will do it by analyzing light
All you gotta do is
itself.
put a goddamn little triangle on the motherfucking board.
He uses a method
That's too
first
simple.
discovered in the 1800s.
This is a spectroscope made in about 1880. One of the first generation of instruments used for analyzing the light from the
Doesn't fit
sun.
into this one. Uh-oh.
It's an instrument like this that transformed astronomy because you can decode the light in a way that you'd never imagine.
The spectroscope splits white light into its rainbow spectrum of colors, and hidden in this spectrum are clues to the behavior of the stars.
Yeah, that's not good. Yes.
Light is made up of waves, and each color has its own wavelength. Blue light has a short wavelength. Red light has a longer wavelength. But when a galaxy is racing through the cosmos, the wavelengths of the light appear to change from our perspective. Today, we are unlocking the secrets of the cosmos. Exploding stars, supermassive black holes, and screaming jets of gas. Across the world and in space, high-tech telescopes are picking up the signals that reveal a hidden universe. A cosmos almost incomprehensible in its size age, and violence.
Telescopes have continued to open up vaster and vaster windows on the universe.
Scientists are now racing
Yeah.
to uncover new secrets.
Looks like I'm gonna have to
Higher and more advanced.
find a wire harness here. I don't have the right wire harness for this connection. Or I could do it freehand, but I'm gonna look for the harness. I'll be back.
Since the start of the 20th century, telescopes have taken